Alright, welcome folks. I'm getting started in a few minutes. Can go ahead and enter in our giveaway for today while you wait. Okay, it's 1 o'clock, so it means it's time for us to get started. So welcome again, I'm Black6 from BZPower, and we're here today to finish building the tumbler here, which we made some great progress on last week in all of its tumbleveable glory. But definitely still some work to be done. It needs a roof, needs some armor panels on the front here. I think I probably need some on the back as well. After our stream last week, I did take a closer look at these back wheels and got them fixed up. Also, there clearly needs to be something right there. What it turned out is that the tire hubs here are not the same on both sides. So you can maybe see on this one how like those Technic pinholes are a bit inset. On the other side of the rim, they're kind of flush, so you needed to match those two flush sides together in order to get them to connect without having a gap, which we had at the end of the stream last week. So then there was a whole thing with just getting all the other things lined up, all the different Technic pins and stuff. So it was a bit of work to get it done, but definitely worth it. I think it looks much better in this way, which is the way it was intended, but I don't feel like it was very clear on how to do that in the instructions. They were more focused about, I feel like, lining up the Technic pinholes with the different like hub and rim pieces to get them all to connect rather than which side to use. Either that or I just read the instructions very wrongly. We can take a quick look, I suppose, and see. Hey there, Pohatron, good to see you. Alright, so let's find where we left off in these instructions. Bag 7, yep, that's where we're at. Alright, so I'm going to take a quick look back through here and see what we can see with these tires and what I messed up last time. I think the only thing they showed in a diagram was this, right? To get the axles lined up, like the length of the axles lined up so you could have space for the second tire. But they never really showed you like, hey, which way does the hub or the rim need to go? Right, they do show this. Maybe this is what they're talking about. But I thought they were focusing more on the axle hole here to make sure that it lines up with everything else. It never focuses on which way the rim needs to go. So I feel like that is definitely lacking in the instructions and could certainly result in the same problems I had last time. So bear that in mind if you pick up and build this set. Pay attention to those rims. All right, so we've got, I think, 6 numbers left. Oh, only 5 numbers left. All right, so yeah, it should be a little shorter stream today. It means we can just show off the set at the end a little more. So start with bag number 7. Open her up, and then adjust our cameras to get ready for building. So it looks like bag 7, we're focusing on getting some armor panels along the front tires here. Cover up some of that Technic stuff. It also looks like we are going to do some armor stuff for back here where we have those couple pins exposed. All right. Get our build cam ready. Voila. A gray background. Already hit. All right, I'm assuming that most of this stuff we're doing twice. I suppose I'll find out if that's not the case if I run out of parts. So how's everyone's week been going? Any fun adventures for anyone? Been enjoying several TV shows that we've talked about a bit in the past, like the Halo show, Star Trek Picard, Moon Knight. The last couple episodes of Moon Knight really took it in a different direction than I did not quite see coming. I think it fits with the show completely. It's just like really kind of went off the deep end a little bit. Like if you ever watched like Legion, the like, I guess, X-Men spin-off series that may or may not have been like part of the X-Men cinematic universe before Disney bought Fox. Like it was definitely stuff in that vein. And definitely interesting. I think it took it from being a like average show to potentially like a good show. We'll see how it wraps up. But it was definitely a step in the right direction, I think. And of course, we've got Doctor Strange coming out this coming week. I waited a little too long to buy tickets, so I'm not seeing it until next Monday. So a week from tomorrow, so no spoilers. Next weekend, I'll do my best to avoid those. Shouldn't be that big of a deal, but since probably not going to be streaming next weekend, so I don't have to worry about you guys spoiling it for me on stream. Not that I think you'd ever do such a thing, but just in case, you know. What else? Got the Halo TV series. Continues to be very different from the story in the games. Very interested to see where they go with it. We'll see. We'll see what the end of the season, whether I think it was good or not. I'm trying to hold my judgment. It's definitely well done. It's more a question of, is it really like Halo to me? Oh, that's the wrong piece. All right, we're building these things, but not very clear. Well, I think I know where they go, but they have these slopes on them, so they can go at an angle. I'm guessing these little 1x1 plates with little roundy things are there just to get the spacing at that certain angle. And then we use those grill bricks. They're gonna give it kind of like that intake texture through these window frames. So, interesting construction so far. interesting handle going on there. These clips have an awful lot of friction. Let's fold in. Now I get to install them. Alright, yeah, so we got our little intake here. Nice slopes. And I guess this is kind of like a guard, some armor for the back wheel. So I'm going to fold it in at least. Don't make it very clear which set of Technic pinholes is supposed to attach to. So I'm just kind of trying to get it as far forward as possible, because it seems like that makes sense. That looks good. Fold that back. Don't want to fold it too far so it's hitting the wheels. I want to fold it just a little bit in front of that. One thing I've noticed with all these different armor panels and such is it does make this thing very difficult to pick up, because there's so much that is like little finicky parts that will fall off if you look at them wrong. So you do have to be very cognizant of that. Attach you all the way. Yeah, okay, those are both all the way. Like this thing here, I was like, oh, this can make a good handle. You do not want to lift it up by this. This thing will pop off fairly easily. Alright, I got some more armor to add on to the sides here. It says do the other side first, but I don't feel like flipping the Batmobile around again. So we're just going to do the mirror first. Hopefully I get it all right. Put the other pieces I'm going to need for the other side on the side. So when I flip it around, it should be easy to do. Does this thing really only attach by one stud? I mean, I assume we're going to lock it in place further, but yeah, it only attaches with one stud. just having these two panels here mirrored together, I'm just getting like some bat vibes. Or like the bat ears pointing up there. Even though that has nothing to do with how these are going to be used in the final thing. Just getting those bat ear vibes. Like you do. Always bugs me when you have to put like a clip like this on at an angle because it's so hard to know like the exact angle. I'm thinking here the idea is to line it up with this 1x1 round plate with the bar. So you can see there, I need to twist that a little bit so it's lined up. Oh yeah, looking at the next step, that is indeed the case. So at least with this one, you know, you will be able to kind of check your work. I've got these little ski poles and clip and bar connectors here. So although it doesn't like actually attach to the clip, you can at least make sure it lines up right. I think it looks pretty good. Man, these armor pieces got a lot going on with them. So you can see this is going to be able to bend, and I assume this bar is going to have another panel piece. You're going to have like this compound angle going on here. When we're done with these panels, that'll be about it for bag 7. Just have to do it all on the other side, or at least attach it all to the other side. notches there. And so you can see you can bend this like in. That doesn't really go in. I guess it goes like that. Just gonna have some different angles, because we'll find out exactly how that goes on in a moment. Alright, so this lines up all the way back here. Alright, so that goes like that, and then this bends in and down. Okay. I was thinking about flipping forward in the instructions to figure out how to do the other side, but I'm like, wait, I was using the instructions for the other side already. So we'll just go back in the instructions. That goes on like that, I believe. Yep, alright. That goes on like so. Alright, now we can flip forward. Skip all this rubbish we've already done. There we go. Alright, on to bag 8. Definitely looking more tumblery. They've got those armor panels on. Alright, what are we doing in bag 8 here? Looks like we're going to put some armor on here. And on here maybe? Like the best angle where the camera is not in a position where I'm gonna hit it, but you guys can still see what I'm doing. Interesting piece I would not have been expecting to see in the Batmobile. It's 1x4 plate. with that L-shaped bar. I think it was originally used like way back in the day for like trailer hitches in Lego City sets, or back before it was called Lego City, like Town, or maybe even like Legoland. Well, we are actually going to be utilizing that bar connection on these little gold attachment pieces here. So that allows this to go in at that kind of odd little angle. But again, right, like just yet another like really finicky kind of connection here. I'm wondering, I already folded these in. I think I should have not folded them in so I could get this like down more, maybe? No? I'm just trying to see like how much movability these things have. interesting using these flag pieces as more armor, but again, because of that connection, they can be a little finicky to position, because obviously they like to, you know, kind of wave like a flag. So we've got like a slot right here that we kind of made with some of our past construction, and this is supposed to go right in there. It goes at like a very slight angle, but just enough that you can tell that it is at an angle. Who let me be so beautiful? I don't know. Just lucky genes, I guess. How's it going? How you doing, Buttloaf? Phone call. Who calls people on the phone these days? Are you a Zoomer? Don't you like not know how to use the phone on your cellular device? Let's go. Got some little clippies here. These attach on there. There we go. Gotta line them up just right so that it has enough clearance to fold down there. Very finicky, right? Like, it looks fantastic. Super finicky. That is it for bag 8. Moving on to bag 9. We're tearing through this today. We'll do our first giveaway once we finish this bag. Which, you know, at the rate we're going, be about 20 minutes or so. Alright, trying to look at the instructions and figure out what it is we're doing here. Looks like bag 9, we're going to be focusing on this area and making some armor here, which means we're going to be using those CCBS ball joints. Looking to see, oh, there we go, we've got the matching socket piece here. Push you out of the way and build us some more armor panels. It looks like we may also be doing like the jet exhaust on the back. So that'll be fun. there, Roomy World. Good to see ya. Some quick hinges here, so at least these panels will be able to hold their position a little better. But right now it's a very flimsy construction. I don't know that we had been thinking about the Horizon set, but if there is interest in it, we can definitely look into it. Although if it's out of stock, we are held by the same restrictions as everyone else is when we request sets from LEGO. So if they're out of stock, we cannot get our hands on them either. We don't get like some special secret access, so we'd have to wait for it to be back in stock. But we can definitely put that on our list. Definitely need to start putting together a new request to LEGO soon for our next batch of sets to build. So I will consider that one. Obviously, you know, you guys tend to know my preferences, so like I was looking at the new land speeder, of course. Still need to get that R2-D2 as well. But again, with like those things going in and out of stock, it can be a little tricky to get the timing right on them. But I'm sure we'll figure out something. We can always wait a little bit before we place our request in. All right. So we've got these fancy armor pieces with all these angles going on. I think that can kind of show off that pretty well. And of course, they've got the CCBS joint on the back. So that means it can attach at an interesting angle. So let's bring our tumbler over here. Make sure I'm putting the correct one on the correct side. I think this is supposed to go like this. Yeah, there's definitely like a gap right here that looks like that kind of fills that in nicely. Let's see if we can get another shot in the instructions to help show us where that's supposed to go. Yeah, that looks like that's pretty accurate. Alright, now get to work on the exhaust pipe. Because you can't have red bricks on a Batmobile. I guess the classic 1960s one had some like red bricks or something on it, and some red highlights. So it looks like we're actually not starting with the exhaust system, but the rear suspension, which is what all these little Technic bits are going to be for. And it's not going to be functional suspension, I don't think, but it's going to look cool. There actually already is like a little bit of a suspension just in the design. Like you can see like just how much of a give is in this rear axle. We're using these worm gears to kind of simulate the springs of a shock absorber. of half bushings, which I guess works well for the texture. Well, that doesn't look good. There we go. How did this one end up looking? Yeah, I guess it depends on the angle, how these worm gears line up. I never quite pay close enough attention to that. Alright, so this one's going to be on this side. We have to adjust the other one to make sure it looks good from the back. Alright, yes, this one need to tweak it. Ooh, not like that. There we go. Found the perfect positioning. Half bushing away. Good thing we give you an extra. Oh, don't worry, we weren't making fun of you for being a zoomer who doesn't know how to use the phone or anything. Alright, so some rear suspension going on. Well, it actually did something. It actually locks that rear axle in a lot more. It has a lot less give now because of that. So it doesn't give any suspension, but it does give it more stability. Hey Disty, no, you are not too late for the giveaway. We're going to be putting up the link again in a few minutes. Once we finish the bag we are currently working on, we'll be doing our first giveaway for today. Yeah, actually, I think it is time to put that up because we're just about done with this bag. All right, so we've got this construction going on, and we're using these 2x8 Technic plates that have the holes in between the studs, and sandwiched between those are these 2x2 round plates that have an axle hole in them, and that's what we're going to be using to attach to these 1x2 bricks with Technic Axle holes. Giveaway link won't open. Hang on one sec. Apparently I broke something. Huh. Okay then. Let's see if I can share this in the chat. Let's see if it'll let me do that. There you go. Check the chat for the link. Alright, and that should be, we'll just pop right into there. Covers up some of that suspension, but also covers up the kind of exposed Technic pins that were there. And that kind of finishes off the back of the Batmobile with a nice jet engine. Alright, gonna go ahead and open up the next bag. Give everyone a chance to enter. Guess I can turn off the giveaway link on the screen, since that's not doing us any good. Alright, sort out some of these larger plates. Give everyone a couple of minutes to enter. Since we done did goof. Yeah, I assume those emojis probably has something to do with the fact that I'm using Streamlabs to do this, and it may not support them yet. Alright. Got a few people entered, so let's see who our first winner will be. Oh hey, Buttloaf, you're the winner. You've won Chewbacca, a buildable figure set. So congratulations. Just reply to the email with your address and we will ship that right out to you. I think you got another set from last week that you need to send out too. Gotta reply to the email. All right. Let's I think this bag is actually going to finish the tumbler, and then the final bag will be the stand. So we're almost done. Alright, this is apparently the roof that we just built here. Do like little kind of inlet detail there. Gives it like a bit of a jet turbine look to it. And what are these attaching to? Nothing. These literally just kind of friction in along these three edges, and they rest on the little Technic beams here. So I guess that means once we're done, you will be able to pop open the roof and actually be able to admire that detailed interior. So that's cool. Did not realize that was a thing. to the next construction. Very curious to see what's going on with these 3 clips and 2 bar connections there. The clips at least are on the line, and I assume are going to attach, I'm guessing, to these bars here to cover the back tires. Then what are the bars for? Possibly, just just for show, because I think this is going to be it. These are the last two things we're adding on here. Oh, I'm wrong, these are not connecting to those bars. We're going to connect to these bars. Mars bars. Alright. There we go. So I guess the back tires stay uncovered and somewhat unprotected. But I mean, this thing is all about like going face first in, right? It's not worried about getting attacked from behind. All right, let's switch up the camera real quick here. So yeah, this is the finished tumbler. Got to build a stand for it still, but quite beefy. Definitely kind of difficult to pick up because like all these panels and stuff are like so finicky. And of course then, as we just determined, the roof can be removed, which is a nice feature, but there's like nowhere on the top to pick it up. Like if this was a play set, like not meant to be a display set, think of like the blockade runner that we built a while ago on stream, or some of the other Star Wars sets. It would have like a handle or something in it that you could just like pull up and just like carry it around. But this is no such thing. There is plenty of clearance here to get your hand under it so you can pick it up like that. I would suggest picking it up from the sides because like this little guy here is very fragile. You can see that will pop off very quickly, so do not pick it up from the front. The back is pretty solid, and then once you do pick it up, well, maybe the back's not quite as solid as I thought because this piece just popped off. That went here. It is interesting looking at it from the bottom that we do have just like these basic bricks on the bottom here. They're not there for any kind of support. I think they're just kind of there to give like a shadow line so you can't see too far underneath while it is sitting on display. Kind of interesting. But yeah, that is the tumbler. So let's go ahead and open up our last set of bags and build a stand for it. Hey there, Voximo. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks good, but it is certainly a very finicky model. Like I just went to like grab it here and I touched this panel, and like it started moving around. And this panel is only attached by like one clip. So there's like lots of little details like that that you really have to be careful about. Like once you have it on display, don't move it. And you have to be careful when cleaning and dusting it so you don't like mess up any of the little panels and stuff too. Oh, it looks like we do actually have a couple more details. The tumbler's not quite done yet. I had assumed that this last bag was just the display stand, but I think we got these little brown Technic couplers hanging out there. I thought they were just going to be like exhaust pipes or something, but we do have some things to go in there, so not quite done yet. You know, I was thinking about that too, Butloaf. Like one day, like all of these wedge plates, I feel like Lego is going to come up with a version where they're tiles instead of plates, and that is just going to change like so many things in building these like large-scale cars and like spaceships and stuff, like wedge tiles instead of plates. They'll have to keep the plates obviously for things like this, and in a situation like this, these studs would probably still be visible, but like on the exterior surfaces, like yeah, getting rid of those studs will be a huge game changer for so much of this. So we'll have to see if that day ever happens. I feel like with the changes we've seen over the years in parts that LEGO has added to their portfolio, I could definitely see that happening. We're just not quite there yet. Yeah, all the Nixon angles definitely be massive dust collectors. Gonna want to get like your compressed air cans or something to get everything out. I did something backwards here. Did I mount this whole assembly backwards? Which way is it supposed to go? boots. Little sailboat mast piece here. Interesting. Hey there, Yad now. Nice to see ya. Yeah, we thought we were done with the Batmobile itself, and I opened the next bag, only to realize that what I thought was just the stand actually still has some more armor panels to do. So we're attaching the two of those right now. I think I just put them on backwards. Guess that is the problem of building both at the same time. Technic Axle. There we go. This is the new one from last year, not the 2014 version. Oh, that's why. Okay, so the picture was a little confusing. They're supposed to be angled forward, not backwards. That makes more sense. I think it was released last year. Sometime during the pandemic. All blends together, you know. Yeah, it was definitely interesting when they announced this set, because like you said, there had been one not too long ago. I guess how many other Batmobiles are there that they could have built a UCS version out of? I mean, I'm sure some Batman fans would say there's plenty. I know I, for one, would love to see a Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. Tumbler is certainly like iconic among Batmobiles for its severe departure in its design from previous iterations before it. Alright, so these panels that we just built attach onto those bars that I was confused about earlier, at least two of them. With some more added finickiness on here. Oh, popped off their connection points there. Oh yeah, yep, they definitely do. So I think you're talking about like these guys. We used a 2x2 plate with the axles on there earlier, and yes, you can clip things onto them. Pretty decent friction, works pretty well. Alright. We've got two more panels. I assume are either going to attach to these bars or to the Technic couplers. Yeah, I've definitely learned over the years that while like collecting things can certainly be fun and enjoyable, it can also be very frustrating and can get like very excessive very fast. Kind of have to do it in moderation and understand that like eventually you're going to reach a point where you can't have it all and you're going to have to pick and choose. Some people can't deal with that. But I think it is an important part of being a well-adjusted member of society, is that you can't have it all. They've definitely done that connection in sets before. I've definitely seen it done. And I guess especially since it was done in this set, it is definitely a legal technique, right? I mean, people like to throw around the term legal and illegal Lego techniques. If it's done in an official set, you know, that is considered legal. I think that is like the end of the wording at the end of the day, right? If Lego does it in a set, it's legal. much to the chagrin of people who do not want to cut pneumatic tubing or the flex tubing. It was done in that one set. At least one. So ergo, it is officially a legal technique. I know some people don't agree with that. I know you're out there, Pat. Although then again, right? Then that brings us to another point. It's like, well, is cutting it to any length legal, or can you only cut it to the length that was shown in that set? I'm not going to weigh in on that one. I don't want to touch that. But that is a point of contention you could make. All right, some more panels. So are we leaving these brown couplers uncovered, or is there still more? I'm like out of black pieces, so I think that's gotta be it. Yeah, I guess so. I had assumed, yeah, these were just like exhaust pipes or something, and I guess that is what they are. So much finicky. And this is like the redesigned version, right? Like, imagine what the original was like in terms of finickiness. Well, it's a good thing I can't see it from the same angle as you guys, so I cannot see that face. Alright, got our big Technic turntable here. Very satisfying snap to support the weight of the Batmobile on the stand. Do you think it's interesting how tall this stand is going to be, especially when compared to the 1989 Batmobile version? Just because of how much ground clearance I think that the Tumbler has compared to the 1989 one. Where you can see just like how far it's going to be off the ground. Wow, they're actually telling us we get to build the same thing twice. definitely interested to see how this stand works out. Kind of try to understand some of the design choices behind it. But I assume at the end of the day it's for the ground clearance more than anything. We'll see. Oh, a brand new Viscerock. Congratulations. What do you think of the build? It's a classic set indeed. I've got our classic UFO saucer pieces. I believe that was where they were first introduced in was it the late 90s or early 2000s. Sometime before Buttloaf was born. I'm definitely not one to judge yet now on building backlogs. So whenever you get to it, I hope you enjoy it. Oh no, nothing small about this stand, that's for sure. Overly clear which pinhole this should be going into. Hope this is right. Let's see if there's that one. Kind of tilt forward a bit. Then we tilt back. I don't think it's going to be perfectly level either way. Now this one goes in here. trying to look at the little arrow in the instructions. It's like, problem is the arrow points at that third stud. All right, so I guess between the two options, it points at the third stud, and this one makes the most sense. You can see it is not perfectly level as a result there. Oh, we still have that big sticker left to do. The UCS display plaque sticker. Oh yeah, look at that. We're building the attachment point for it right now. Hey there, Hardbite. Thank you for joining us. I admittedly have not paid very close attention to the DeLorean set. Does it not include a stand at all? Because if so, that is definitely a bummer. Because when I first built the 1989 Batmobile and it has that awesome stand, it was like every Lego set. You know, big display vehicle like the Batmobile like this needs a stand for sure. Because it adds so much to the display of that set. You can just kind of spin it around from every angle. All right, let's see. Bubbles there. Ooh, got a bad crease there. Let's see if we can fix that. There we go. All right. Mostly salvaged. Oh, weight, max speed, acceleration, blah, blah, blah. 1500 horsepower jet turbine. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's definitely a bummer there that there's no good display option. All right, attach that on. There we go. I'm sure there's like a lot of different things you could do to make. Did I do this wrong? Yeah, I think that's supposed to be further down. Ah, there we go. There was a little inset picture in the instructions that show where we're supposed to attach that, and I was wrong. wax paper could probably make it easier for sure. I'm sure there's like a lot of different techniques people have to ease the attachment. There we go, and that allows us to lie this a lot flatter, so when we put this on, it doesn't hit it. And then it's, you know, it's kind of a matter of speed, right? If I did like wax paper for all the stickers and stuff, it would make like the build take a lot longer and stuff. So I could do like a good, probably 90% accuracy at a much faster timing without wax paper or anything like that. So that's what I choose to go for. All right, let's see if we can align this thing on here. Not easily. There's only one thing that the, there we go, Star Wars UCS sets have going for them. That their stands tend to be a smaller footprint, so it's much easier to line them up. So this is interesting. Unless I did something wrong, which again, always possible. But the back tires are touching the ground with the stand here. So you can see as I pushed it back while on the stand, those back tires rolled, so it's just the front tires that are off the ground. You can still spin it while on the stand, and while you spin it, you can mess up the alignment of all these little panels. Oh my god, there's like nowhere. All right, let's switch to the wide shot while we do this. There we go. All right. So we're not done with the build yet. We still have to do the display stand for the minifigures, but so yeah, you can kind of spin this around, and you can see the back tires turning as you do it. Oh, and then it gets to the point where, like I was showing, the stand isn't level. So you get to this point, and the back tires are off the ground, and the entire thing can spin freely. But then you get too far, and they start touching the ground again. I'm not a fan of that. I would have liked the back tires to be off the ground the entire time, so it can spin freely. I don't know if you guys remember during the 1989 Batmobile stream, I just loved like spinning the entire thing around. Like it was so perfectly balanced on that stand that like just with one finger you can just like spin the entire thing in circles and it's like fine. This one not so much. It's a little bit of a bummer there. Like, certainly looks cool. I'm glad that it can spin, but it can only spin for not quite 180 degrees, maybe like 160 degrees of free spinning. And while it's in that position, the display plaque is hidden, so you kind of have to. Even then, like this, the display plaque is hidden. So I guess if you have to kind of go like sideways, and then you can see the display plaque and have. I guess while the display plaque is showing, the back tires are mostly off the ground. So there we go. That's a nice kind of compromise. There we go. That's the word. Brain work. So where we can spin it freely while seeing that, and then if you go too far, then the back tires are going to hit. All right, let's go ahead and finish this up. We've got a couple minifigures to build and a display stand for them. We've got the Heath Ledger Joker to do here. There we go. Thank you, Grayson, for another sticker tip. Certainly lots of options out there. And again, right, I'm sure that does help a lot. I'm just trying to go for speed here. All right. So we've got our Christian Bale Batman, of course, with the white stripe for the bat eyes. He's got an angry face there. So it's kind of interesting that this is a different figure, obviously, from the 1989 Batmobile and Batwing, and he's got a fabric cape versus the rubbery cape that connected to the cowl that those two Batmans had. And then we've got our Heath Ledger Joker, who also has a two-sided head. Asking the question, why so serious? Oh, I didn't see the eyebrow raise first on that head. All right, we gotta have the eyebrow raise. Very iconic. It's interesting that this, I believe, is like the exact same stand design as the 1989 Batmobile and Batwing. Yeah, those each had 3 minifigs, and this one is only going to have 2. Well, I'm not sure like who else from those films you would put on the stand. Alfred, maybe? I feel like Alfred is like the third most prominent character from that trilogy. I mean, I guess Bane. I'm not sure if it would make sense to have the Joker and Bane in the same set here. Right, this one seems to be going after particularly the second film with the Heath Ledger Joker. So, it's been a long time since I've seen The Dark Knight, but I'm not sure I can tell you anyone else in the cast besides Heath Ledger, Christian Bale, and Michael Caine. Oh yeah, Lucius Fox, of course. How could I forget the voice of Birmingham, Alabama International Airport? Gargoyles here for our stand. Man, I want to rewatch those movies just for Morgan Freeman's voice. I would dig a Morgan Freeman minifigure. Did he ever get a minifigure appearance from those films? I mean, obviously there is the Vitruvius minifig which I guess you could say is like a Morgan Freeman minifigure in a way, but I would like a Morgan Freeman minifig based on a live action appearance just so I can make Red from Shawshank Redemption. Alright, also interesting here that Batman doesn't have any accessories, where I think in the 1989 sets he comes with like a grappling hook gun. Again, been a while since I've seen the movies, but I do know that Lucius did hook him up with a lot of gadgets, so I'm not sure why he doesn't have any here. Alright, that is it for the set. Those of you who were around earlier know we were having some problems with our giveaway link. So I'm going to paste the direct link into the chat. So go ahead and head over there to enter in our giveaways for today. And hopefully next time we'll have that fixed, so you can just go to bzpower.com/giveaway again, but that is not working currently. Alright, so yeah, there we go. I do dig these stands. Again, it adds like some nice quality to the final set as a display piece. I do like that it is the exact same design as the two 1989 sets. I actually need to finish sourcing the parts to make a fourth one of these for the 1960s classic Batmobile, to put the Adam West Joker and was it Cesar Romero Joker? Say Adam West Batman, Cesar Romero Joker, to put them on display, so I can have like all those kind of figures in a common display piece, display format. So I definitely like that design language that translates between all of these sets. Even if like the gargoyles were very specific to that Tim Burton style Batman, I think they work well with Batman in general, so I appreciate that. And yeah, then we've got the Batmobile itself, the Tumbler. Like we were talking about, it has about 160 degrees of free spinning. When it gets too far, the back tires do start to hit, and you have to like really kind of apply some pressure to get it to turn on the stand. And we'll take it off the stand to show why that is. So you can, if you look from the side profile, you can see that it is not perfectly level. So that does keep it from, or that does kind of tilt it back, so those back tires are going to touch when it's in certain positions. Otherwise, I think the stand is pretty nice. Definitely would have liked it though if it could have allowed the tumbler to spin freely the entire 360 degrees. That's a bit of a bummer. Curious how many like plates you'd have to put like along the bottom edge to like lift it up just a little bit, if that'll give you enough clearance. Or you can, I'm sure, like adjust the Technic mechanisms here to raise it up by a stud or two to accomplish the same effect and still have the strength. As for the tumbler itself, it does roll very well right into my backdrop there. So that is about the main feature it has, other than being incredibly delicate. We did note that the roof panels are removable, so you can look into the cockpit. It's got the two seats there. If we turn it around, you can see like the control panels here. There's all sorts of like little displays. We got like the throttle lever, and there's some bunch of stickers and stuff. Pretty much all of the stickers, other than the display base, are in the cockpit, which I think from like a displayer's perspective is kind of cool, because if you're not a fan of stickers, you can choose to ignore them and then just never remove the roof panels, and no one will know. Overall, definitely think it looks cool. I think it captures the look of the Tumbler from the Dark Knight trilogy. It is so finicky though. Like, pick any point on here, and if you try to touch it, right, like it's gonna like adjust. And this piece only attached by one clip. Like that can pop off if you're not careful. Like you have these like little flag pieces that can move around, and they themselves are on a piece that's on hinge plates, right? Like this panel here is attached via a single CCBS ball joint, and as I adjust that, you can see like this entire back section is moving, and so it's like so incredibly like finicky. Like these guys here can move around very easily. These front panels here also very wiggly. The little, I guess like escape pod, I think they call it, right, the bat pod, where he can kind of climb into here, and in the film, right, like the whole like middle section pops out and it becomes a motorcycle. Like this thing is super finicky, although it does allow you to kind of see inside a little bit. There's not a lot of detail there, but there's some. Right, like going into the back here, if you remember last stream, we had an issue with the gap between the tires. We figured that out, and as I was like trying to figure that out, like this thing kept popping off like nonstop. Or if this didn't pop off, little tap pieces would pop off. So there's a lot of finicky details. This is like 100% a display set, not for playing with, because unless you don't mind reattaching like all these panels. Like this thing is only held on by one clip and bar connection. So is this. These are held on a little better, but still very fragile. Like, got our little intakes here. Again, like some fragile connections here. And if you push this panel too far back, it's gonna hit the tires, which are then gonna rub against it, and so it's not gonna spin as smoothly. So, looks great as long as you don't touch or play with it. And now I'm like, how do I put this down? I almost put my thumb here. I'm like, nope, can't put my thumb anywhere on the top because it's going to knock something out of alignment. So keep that in mind as we were talking about before. All these angles and stuff, gonna be a huge dust magnet. You're gonna need to get your like compressed air can, or a compressor they use like fill tires with, and put a little nozzle on that so you can spray all the dust off on a regular basis, because otherwise this thing will collect a lot of dust in all of these nooks and crannies. So yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, is it worth $230 for just a little over 2,000 pieces? I think I can hold there. Trying to line this thing back up here. I think if you're a Batman fan, especially if you're a fan of the Dark Knight trilogy, it is a cool set, right? It does look good on display. I'm looking forward to displaying this next to my 1989 Batmobile and Batwing. I think it'll look great next to them. I was very fortunate that LEGO sent us the set to build. So would I pay $230 for this? I think if I was a big enough Batman fan, probably. I would rather personally spend that money on a Star Wars set, but that's just because I'm more of a Star Wars fan. I think it definitely gives you a lot for that money. The price point does tend to rise up when you have like big rubber pieces and stuff like that. Having presumably unique minifigures. I feel like this Batman we've seen before, maybe in some other sets, but I want to say the Joker is unique to this set, so that's obviously going to drive the price up for unique printing and things like that. It's definitely expensive. Unfortunately, sets like these don't go on sale that often, but if you can find it for like $200, if like, what's the site? There's definitely a few places out there that will have sales on them every now and then. I think iWoot is one of them. Amazon, if once they get this set, will probably put it on a slight discount at some point. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I think that definitely $200 puts it much more in the range of acceptability. Right up there with the new UCS Land Speeder that came out, or some of the other Star Wars sets, some of the creator expert cars. It is certainly a large model though, right? You can see just how big it is, so you do get a lot of mass for your money there. I think if you're a Batman fan, not a bad addition to the collection. But otherwise, find the things that you're passionate about. LEGO certainly has enough different IPs and themes these days that there should be something out there for you. All right, we got one more giveaway to do, so let's go ahead and do that. Close things off. Let's see what our second winner is going to be. All right, walking home with the Scarif Stormtrooper, aka the Shore Trooper, is Woomy World. Congratulations. We'll be sending you an email to get your mailing address so we can ship out your prize. All right, so I think that is going to be it for today, guys and gals and people of all genders out there. Thank you for watching us. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We're going to be probably taking next week off, and then maybe stay tuned to social media. So this is the last big set we've received from LEGO recently to build. So we've got to put in a new request and see if we can get any more sets from them. But that'll take a little bit, so I'll be delving into my own personal collection, my own building backlog, and probably post a couple options on social media to see what all you would like to see us build next. So thank you all again for watching, and we will catch you next time. Have a great rest of your weekend and a great week. Stay safe and healthy out there. Take care all.